and go on here and, yeah. Okay. Let's see what we've got in our final segment here. Gary J Sports page coming up here in just a little bit here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. And got a lot of other fun stuff coming your way, so stay with me. The Gary Russen program continues as we wrap up this segment of the Gary Russen program. Non-stop talk. That's what we do here. This is where we just kind of like go through pages and try to spread out this thing. I'm going to expand this a little bit more too on the next show. Next Wednesday, one more show, one more Gary Russen program. Then we're going to kind of give this show a break in a little bit while I try to revamp this thing for the 15-minute waits. And I start working on the next way we're going to broadcast. So we're going to be working on that one. So be prepared for that. I'm just going to do that because this is going to be so much fun trying to get on with this thing and be able to, we have to do this every 15 minutes now. I can still broadcast a half hour, but I have to make sure that I'm ready to go back into the next half hour via the Spreaker mixer boards, and making sure they're up and ready to go when I get to that point. So I have to work on that one. Now it's going to take a little bit of practicing on my part to really do well on this. So next Wednesday, the Gary Russen program, one more week, one more Wednesday, one more Over the Hump Day edition of the Gary Russen program. Next Wednesday, 2 o'clock Central, right here on GJRB. And then we'll be moving the Gary Russen program to Friday coming up within about a week or so after that, about mid-July for the Gary Russen program. And that's going to be our Hangout show. Okay, that's going to be our Hangout show. Okay, so just to let you know about that, that's coming up. But this weekend's going to be our big weekend here on GJRB Online. Oh, yeah. Yep, our nostalgia weekend. Now, like I said before, you're not going to probably hear this show. Listen to it as much as you can here on Spreaker over the next couple of days. But I will probably have to take this show off to make room for this weekend's programming. So Friday afternoon, we're going to be here at 2 o'clock Central to 4 o'clock Central. I don't know, it's hard to say, because I have to make room for all my other shows this weekend, so it's going to have to be a 2-hour show. And that's going to be Gary J's Radio, Television, and Movie Classics. That's our trivia show. It's going to be fun. We got a lot of stuff on that program. We got a lot of classic trivia stuff. I've got a whole mess of stuff. So you're going to want to check this out. It's going to be Friday afternoon, 2 o'clock Central for Gary J's Radio, Television, and Movie Classics. And I'm looking forward to doing this program. I've been working on this program for some time, and really looking forward to putting this program on. It's going to be really a fantabulous show, and really looking forward to putting it on. So it's going to be Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock Central. I'm still kind of going through some trivia questions because the last bunch didn't get answered, but I can tell you some of the answers to some of those. The one that I mentioned earlier about, what was that? The one I talked about, Stira and Mira? Yeah. That advertiser, Stilla and Mira advertised Blue Nun. Remember that? Blue Nun. Okay. And what is your? We have some trivia. I've got a whole mess of them working on some questions. So I'm going to have to stump my audience, which is going to be kind of fun trying to do. You might find some of the questions easy, and you might find some of them complicated. But we're going to try very well my hardest to make them at least somewhat easy, But I'm going to probably put some complicated ones in there too. So, hang in there. We're going to make this a fun show. Gary J's radio, television, and movie classics. It's going to be a great show. It's coming up this weekend. And then Saturday's going to be fantabulous. Different words. I put them into one. I love doing that. It's going to be fantabulous. You know why? Because we got old-time radio. Oh, I love doing that. Oh, yeah. Gary J of the Radioland. Got some great programs. You know what? Check this out. Radioland coming up here on GJRB. Got a lot of really good stuff coming your way with that one. Radioland is going to feature The Shadows. And I've got Escape and a show called Lights Out. It's a weird, bizarre program. I listened to some of this. I got some comedy with... I've got a couple of really good comedy shows. The Great Gildersleeve. That is a funny one. I've been listening to that one. It's very funny. So we've got some really good programs, and we'll end it with X-1. Now, some of the programs might not all be on there because, like I said, I have to cut that program down to 2 hours as well. So, with that in mind, that program and the Gary Russen program, that program and radio and television classics, and right after that is the Crooners. So you're going to want to check that show out. It's coming up. It's fabulous. It's coming up this weekend on GJRB, the What's Happening Sound. GJRB in 2016. Still the What's Happening Sound. The mainstream media is not telling you the truth. They have their own agenda. At GJRB, I have mine, telling you what's really going on with sources like End Time Headlines, InfoWars, Coast to Coast AM, and most importantly, CBN News, keeping you on top of what's happening at the top and bottom of each hour during the Gary Russen program. I'll give you the news and analysis of what I think with Gary J's News and Comment. Get the real news. True news. News that's not in the mainstream. On GJRB.
Attention musicians. If you're starting a band or just starting a solo act on your own, go to the place on the internet where you can get equipment at great prices. HelloMusic.com. They have guitars, amps, mixers, and microphones. Some at great low prices. Log on today and look at the equipment and the prices. www.hellomusic.com. Like them on Facebook for chances to win guitars, mics, and other band equipment. Remember the name, Hello Music.
You hear great jazz on GJRB with the best of jazz, up-and-coming jazz, and smooth afternoon.
If you can't get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming.
And programming in other great music formats.
Like blues, urban, including rap, also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition,
You get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA. Listen and enjoy.
It's going to be hot on GJRB with new shows and returning favorites and more longer broadcast days, featuring new shows with rock and roll oldies for the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Introducing the Crooners, featuring great singers like the Rat Pack, Perry Como, Andy Williams, and Frank Sinatra. GJRB has a new music format based on the old up-and-coming show, playing consistently on GJRB. Gary J in the afternoon, Bluegrass Jubilee, Gary J's Blues House, all back. It's a freestyle summer. Now, going on GJRB. Now, a memorable moment from a past Gary Russen program. With an interesting story that we're going to talk about. A young little girl, harmless little child, right, has been put on the no-fly list. Can you believe this? According to a report from a story, I'm going to bring it to you right now. According to a report from WPBF, Channel 25 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The story shows that TSA successfully prevented an alleged terrorist from boarding JetBlue flight out of Florida on Tuesday. The initial report described the suspect as having curly hair, brown hair, about 33 inches of height, and drinking milk as a regular diet. Yeah. 18-month-old child. Now, New Jersey-born Americans of the Middle Eastern descent were reportedly the reason for sending the Transportation Security Administration after him. Out about to depart a plane from Fort Lauderdale, Florida this past week, appearance of a girl who wished to remain anonymous say that the entire incident was absurd. Rihanna's mother tells Fort Lauderdale's Channel 25 News that she approached the airline employee late Tuesday while on board a JetBlue flight ready for departure. And according to her, she was informed that TSA agents were waiting to speak with the family outside the terminal. And, I'm looking at this saying, what the heck? Now, the families were excited on the plan to answer questions by the TSA. They exited the plan to answer. If I was her, I would get a lawyer for this. In about 30 minutes, though, they were allowed back on the plane, but, due to the embarrassment of the whole thing, I think that, I don't blame them. I think they kind of backed out of the flight. Because after a while, you really think about it, that was absolutely ridiculous to begin with. They decided, I guess, not to go on board, and so what they did was, I guess they kind of canceled the flight there, and decided to postpone it, which is a good idea. Why not? It's just crazy. For more memorable moments from the Gary Russen program, listen to the best of the Gary Russen program podcast this weekend on the GJRB public site. GJRB in 2016. Still the What's Happening sound.